Strict liability. Introduction. Strict liability is an important principle under the law of torts. Under this rule, a person may be held liable for damage caused by his activities even though there was no negligence or intention to cause harm. Meaning of strict liability. Strict liability means liability without fault. If a person brings or keeps a dangerous thing on his land and it escapes causing damage to another, he is held liable even if he took all reasonable care. This principle mainly applies to hazardous and non-natural use of land. Origin of strict liability. The doctrine of strict liability was laid down in English law and later adopted in India. It is based on public policy to protect people from dangerous activities. Leading case on strict liability. Case law, Rylands v. Fletcher, 1868. Facts: the defendant constructed a reservoir on his land for industrial purposes. Due to latent defects in the ground, water from the reservoir escaped and flooded the plaintiff's neighboring mine, causing extensive damage. The defendant had no negligence and had taken reasonable care. Held: the House of Lords held the defendant strictly liable. It was ruled that a person who brings a dangerous thing onto his land and allows it to escape is responsible for all damage caused, even without negligence. Essential elements of strict liability. For strict liability to apply, the following conditions must be satisfied. The defendant must bring or keep a dangerous thing on his land. There must be a non-natural use of land. The dangerous thing must escape from the defendant's land. Damage must be caused to the plaintiff. Meaning of dangerous thing. A dangerous thing includes anything likely to cause harm if it escapes, such as water, gas, electricity, explosives, chemicals, or fire. Non-natural use of land. Non-natural use means special use of land that increases danger to others. Ordinary or natural use does not attract strict liability. Case law, Rickards v. Lothian, 1913. Facts: a water pipe burst in the defendant's building due to the wrongful act of a third party, causing damage to the plaintiff's property. The water was used for ordinary domestic purposes. Held: the court held that the defendant was not liable because storing water for domestic use was a natural use of land, and strict liability did not apply. Exceptions to strict liability. Strict liability does not apply in the following cases. Act of God. Act of third party. Plaintiff's own fault. Consent of the plaintiff. Statutory authority. Natural use of land. Exception case law example. Case law, Nichols v. Marsland, 1876. Facts: due to extraordinary and unprecedented rainfall, artificial lakes on the defendant's land overflowed and caused damage to the plaintiff's property. The defendant had taken all reasonable precautions. Held: the court held that the defendant was not liable as the damage was caused by an act of God. Strict liability did not apply. Strict liability in India. Indian courts follow the rule of strict liability but have also developed a more stringent rule in cases involving hazardous industries. Difference between strict liability and absolute liability. Strict liability allows certain exceptions. Absolute liability does not allow any exception. Strict liability originated in England. Absolute liability was developed by Indian courts. Conclusion. Strict liability plays a vital role in protecting society from harm caused by dangerous activities. It ensures that a person who creates a risk must bear responsibility for any damage caused. This doctrine balances individual freedom with public safety and is an important topic for LLB examinations.